Hey friends, today I'm sticking with the beginning of school theme and I'm reading a book that we might have read last year. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but it's such a funny book. It's called A Fine, Fine School. The author's name is Sharon Creech and the pictures are by Bliss. Sharon Creech has also written quite a few chapter books you might be familiar with. This book is just really funny, I think. A Fine, Fine School. There they are, beginning of school, just like we're at the beginning of school. Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing and drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. "Oh," he would say, "aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" Near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog, Beans, in a small house next to a big tree. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. At school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters. Sometimes when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the hallway, he waved. "Aren't these fine children?" he said to himself. "Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" On the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. Here she is saying, "I'm stuck, get help." And she took Beans on walks and threw him sticks. "Let go now, Beans." And she pushed her brother on a swing and tried to teach him how to skip. "Be one with the skip." But on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her brother did not like to see her go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry home," her brother called. One day, Mr. Keene called all the students and teachers together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays, too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all the learning they were doing every day. I would not want to go to school on Saturday. That's for sure. And so that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Saturday! What about the swings?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Sundays, too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all the fine work they were doing every day. The banner says, "Why not study while you chew?" And so that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Sunday. What about skipping?" her brother called. And here's the dog. He's reading Great Skippers of the World. And the paper is called Arts and Leisure. And then he's drinking from a mug that says World's Greatest Dog. And the squirrel is reading a paper that says Nuts. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on holidays too. On Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah, on all the holidays on every calendar." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on the holidays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all the learning they were doing every day. His banner says, "More school is way cool. School is cool." The kids don't look too excited, though. And so on Christmas, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Christmas! What about Christmas?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school in the summer too, all summer long, every single day." Here it says, time in school, time at home sleeping, which is about that much. How much we will learn, he said. We'll learn everything. We'll learn about numbers and letters and colors and shapes, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Greeks. We'll learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything. We'll just learn everything. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all summer long, every single day. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and of all the learning they were doing every day. Look at the kids. I don't know if you can see them very well, but they're really not very happy. And so on the first day of summer, Tilly set off for school. But it's summer! What about summer? Her brother called. The dog's wearing a shirt that says lifeguard dog. And that day, Tilly went to see Mr. Keene. She stood in his office, in front of his desk. What a fine, fine school this is, Mr. Keene said. What amazing things everyone is learning. Yes, Tilly said, we certainly are learning some amazing things. A fine, fine school, said Mr. Keene. But, Tilly said, not everyone is learning. What? Mr. Keene said. He looked very worried. Who's not learning? Tell me, and I'll see that they learn. My dog Beans hasn't learned how to sit, Tilly said, and he hasn't learned how to jump over the creek. Oh, said Mr. Keene. And my little brother hasn't learned how to skip or swing. Oh, said Mr. Keene. And I, she said. But you go to school, Mr. Keene said, to our fine, fine school. True, Tilly said, but I haven't learned how to climb very high in my tree, and I haven't learned how to sit in my tree for a whole hour. Oh, said Mr. Keene. Look at the dog. He's doing embroidery, and he's embroidering a cat. I don't know if you can see it very well. That day, Mr. Keene walked up and down the halls, looking at the children and the teachers. Up and down he walked, up and down, up and down. They all look exhausted. One kid's brushing his teeth because he's hardly ever home. His parents have a note saying, "We miss you, son. Love, Mom and Dad." The next morning, Mr. Keene called everyone together. The children and the teachers were very worried. Mr. Keene said, "This is a fine, fine school with fine, fine children and fine, fine teachers, but not everyone is learning." The children and the teachers were very, very worried. Mr. Keene said, "There are dogs who need to learn how to sit and how to jump creeks." What did he mean? Was he going to make their dogs come to school? Here's the dog writing, "I will not lick my classmates. I will not lick my classmates. I will not lick my classmates." There are little brothers and sisters who need to learn how to swing and how to skip. What did he mean? Was he going to make their younger brothers and sisters come to school too? The children and the teachers were very, very, very worried. Everybody looks really nervous. And you, all of you, children and teachers, you need to learn how to climb a tree and sit in it for an hour, Mr. Keene said. The children and the teachers were very worried. Here he is timing him. 20 minutes to go. And so from now on, look at their faces and look at the teachers. We will not have school on Saturdays and Sundays or holidays or in the summer. A huge, enormous, roaring cheer soared up to the ceiling and floated out the window so that everyone in the town heard the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers shout, "Fine, fine, fine!" Look at them all. They're all so happy and relieved. And the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers lifted Mr. Keene up, and they carried him down the hallway and out the doors and through the town, up and down and in and out. And everywhere they went, the people said, "What a fine, fine school with such fine, fine teachers and fine, fine children and a fine, fine principal." I just think that's a really fun book. Today, I really don't even want you to do anything except just tell me if you like the book or tell me something silly about school, whatever. Just this book is just to have fun, and it's just a good way to start the year off. So I hope you enjoyed it, and happy reading, everybody.